Peace, peace. It's a Thompson's one. And the title of this video is gonna be um Immigrants and Foreigners Control All African American Communities Throughout the United States. Okay. Alright. The reason I chose to talk about this particular topic is, a lot of people mention it, but such as like Claude Anderson, you got other guys who mention like the black economics and what's being controlled in your neighborhood, in your market, and how much money we spend annually throughout. I guess throughout the world, because I guess now we might order things offline, so that counts as African American spending power. So yeah, man. From my looks and from the data that I collected, immigrants and foreigners control all African American communities. All right, so let's start off. Let's take a look at some of the businesses in your neighborhood. So let's the first business, a laundromat. If you don't have a if you don't have a laundry a laundry a, you don't have a laundry machine and a dryer in your house, then you more likely got to go to some type of laundromat. And most laundromats is controlled by Koreans and Chinese and some Indians, but most of the time I see Koreans that basically control that. So these same Koreans, they don't. Some of them employ your people, some of them don't. You know what I'm saying? For the ones who want to work there, but that's something that black people in your neighborhood, that's an economic cool resource that you should be exploring and taking advantage of. So, the first one was the laundromats, which is owned by Koreans. The second one is soul food, or what was called soul food. For what I see now, there is no more soul food restaurants. In my neighborhood, there's probably a few. As we know, Sylvia's is owned by Koreans. Um, I can't even think of no soul food restaurants. There's probably one or two in my neighborhood, but for the most part, there is none. But as far as fried chicken, fried chicken was created by African Americans, and most of the people who sell you fried chicken are foreigners. So you let foreigners come from another country and come to your country and sell you what is considered your food. So I mean, I don't know if a lot of you know that or whatever though, but fried chicken could be a resource. I mean, it might not be something that's gonna make you rich though, but for a side business and a family business, you could have a fried chicken spot. You know what I'm saying? You telling me that foreigners can come to your country and sell fried chicken better than you can? That can be something that, a mom and her daughter put together and come up and do that on the side. Or, you know what I'm saying, or a family, it could be a family business, second business. All of the mostly all of the things that's being exploited by immigrants and foreigners can be all used as, maybe a first business and maybe change. You can make change in these particular things dealing with economics. When I mean change is you can open up other ones and branch out and what I'm saying, open other locations throughout, I guess, throughout the state, or if you really thinking throughout the country. So the fried chicken industry is controlled by Arabs. And Chinese people exploit. I mean, they exploit that as well. But my thing is this: how many black men throughout America is locked up, and they could be utilizing this resource. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, fried chicken could be one of the resources that you can be using. I know that sound kind of bland. You could add on. It ain't just fried chicken. It's any kind of chicken, whether it's smothered, fried, grilled, barbecue, um, whatever. It could be any kind of chicken that you could be utilizing. But that can definitely be a second business for someone in the black community when you can control that yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can hire people and have them run it. So the next one is the fashion. Okay. Now, as you know, in America, there's only two fashions. Okay. I'm talking about as far as main fashion. You know, you got white fashion, which is like, you know, a lot of different things, more casual, all, you know, all of most of the European stuff. And then you got black culture, or as far as fashion. Black fashion is more streetwear. You know, it ain't got to be so much hood or hip hop. It can be casual too, because we could put together our own little things. Um, but as far as the sneakers, we wear more Nikes, Adidas, and we've been wearing it longer than anybody here in this country. I mean, as far as they've been out, we've been wearing them just as long as Europeans bought them out. You know, we wear them a certain way, so that's what makes it different. We wear them a certain way different than what the Europeans are wearing, and that's what made it fashionable. And that's what attracted a lot of people when they came to this country to be more like not it's not hip hop, it's more hip. I guess it's hip. Like I guess the term for the way we dress is hip, being hip. You know, so you know, the sneakers, you know, Michael Jordans, Bo Jacksons, Ken Griffey's, etc. We supposed to be controlling that. Ain't nowhere in the world you don't have no black owned sneaker stores. Where I'm at, you got Kicks USA that's owned by Koreans or whatever. You mean tell me LeBron James and all these basketball stars couldn't come together and say, well, you know what? Let's start a conglomerate of like sneaker stores and like, you know, different apparel stores or whatever. But they're not utilizing that. You know, all you hear about these black entertainers, all they do is talk about how much money they got, or how much they worth though, but you don't see what type of businesses that they interest or that they even invest in. And that's why a lot of them actually go broke because they don't have no recurring money. They don't have they don't have no economics that circulate or whatever. They spending money that's going to be going. And after a while, you can't keep on paying almost $1 million for you know what I'm saying, property taxes, or your bills come up to $1 million every year, and then after you're out of football or basketball, you don't no longer got access to that type of money. So then of course your lifestyle going to diminish. You know, so if they move smart or whatever and invest in their neighborhoods or whatever, maybe they will have more recurring money or whatever. So you know, like the hats, fitted hats, far as snapbacks, you know, far as clothes, period. You know, we popularize all that. All that's popularized by black people. You know what I'm saying? So most of the people that's running them industries right there are Chinese. I'm starting to see some like Dominicans open sneaker stores or whatever. Um, you know, white people and Koreans. That's when I'm mainly seeing that, and Chinese as well. Don't forget about the Chinese. And them the main people I see that's dealing with the fashion industry, but yet we the people who popularize the fashion industry. Music, you know, all your mainstream music, major all your major labels are owned by Jews. All of the broadcasting networks are owned by Jews, as well as all the sub broadcasting networks are owned by Jews. You know, as far as the music, you know, they control the music, they control what comes out. We have no say so on what music we allow to come out. You know, but if we had some say so and we had some moralities to us, we'll look and see a lot of the music that's being played is basically like is garbage, man. You know, you got your kid in the car singing whatever the hell the name of that song is by that idiot. He got a song talking about cooking up coke, and it's on mainstream radio, and you got other kids in the back singing and shit. You know, cut it. You need to cut it. That's some stupid shit, and they allow that shit to be played. Most of the music, none of the music is like when I was coming up. We had radio version and you know and explicit versions or whatever. Now they get still all the explicit versions out or whatever. They'll let them say certain curse words or certain activities on there or whatever though. But you got kids singing this shit, and we got our kids singing it, and we don't catch on to it. Nor are we smart enough to say, well, damn, we need to tap into something else, man, because I don't want my children listening to this garbage. But we allow them to listen to it, you know. So the music industry, like I said, is owned by the Jews. All right, so you know, food, which is fried chicken and soul food. But I'm gonna talk about the grocery stores now. You know, most of grocery stores throughout the major cities and you know throughout the major cities in the United States, that's majorly, majority African American or autonomous Americans. You know, most of the grocery stores are controlled by Chinese, Latinos, Italians, Arabs, and Koreans. You know, there's a few black-owned grocery stores, but it's very hard to find them. You know, for the most part, these are the people who control in these industries. Like I said in my previous video, where I'm from, like most of the grocery stores are now the mom and pop supermarkets are ran by damn Latinos and Hispanics. You know, and my problem is with this is that they sell food in neighborhoods in which they don't live in. None of these people live in. I mean, well, some of the Hispanics and Latinos live in the community, but they don't shop at their supermarkets that they got. So what I notice is most of the stuff in their supermarkets are bottom shelf. It's like coming from old, like major grocery stores that got frostbite, frostbitten on it. The meats, the meats are, I guess. Listen, all the meat is bad. Okay, all meat is bad. You're not gonna find like you maybe can do better by going get an organic type of meat from like a Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or um what's the name? What's the other name of the market? It's eluding me right now. But mainly, if you're gonna buy some food, buy from me. Don't buy from a lot of these mom and pop Hispanic spots, man, because I don't trust a lot of their meat. But nonetheless, though, they controlling most of like the grocery stores, the small grocery stores, and the mom and pop convenience stores in black communities. Okay, and like I said, it's the Chinese, Latinos, Hispanics, Arabs, and Koreans, or whatever. All right. So far as real estate is basically controlled by Hasidic Jews and also the Hispanics. And you know, you have some blacks that has real estate or whatever. So I can't say a lot of blacks don't. I mean, well, no, I can't say a lot of blacks don't. It's not enough. It is some that has real estate, but it's not enough to where they can stop gentrification and all these numerous different things in which they do in your neighborhood. So all right, so um, all right, let's talk about gentrification now, or well, what we consider gentrification. You know, like I said, most of these most of these major things. Yeah, but what happens is a lot of black people or educated black people. What happens? They move from out the neighborhood. Now you still got some black neighborhoods where you know it's a large majority of black people, but a lot of black people with money they don't live in black neighborhoods. They live outside the neighborhood, so they go to white neighborhoods. And I don't know if these same people make these small investments or try to go back and invest in their neighborhood, but most of them move out. So most of the people who live in the neighborhood are people who stuck in the neighborhood. So you know they can't afford to get out, maybe because they ain't had the best education, or maybe they didn't have the best circumstances growing up, which can be a lot of different things. It can be no parents, it can be lack of resources, lack of education. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different things that come into play. And then you got people, like I said, most of the black people who got sense, or I'm not saying a lot of them don't have sense that live in these neighborhoods, but the ones who can make a change or can affect the way the economical system is, they choose to move out and just be around more Europeans or be around people who I guess that's in that economical status or whatever. But yeah, that's what happened, man. And most of the black business owners, like during the crack era, and during like when they was really running wild, they left the communities. A lot of them stores was abandoned because of the fact of drugs, and a lot of people didn't want to like invest in their neighborhood because of the drugs. And like I said, the drugs itself, they put drugs in our community, and the ones who were smart or the ones who did have some type of sense and was able to get out the neighborhood, they never came back. They just got out the neighborhood and either moved into, like I said, a European neighborhood and never came back and made any investments into their community. And you know what? I also wanted to add another one of your booming economical resources that's being exploited by a number of different immigrants and foreigners that's living in North America is a liquor store. Now, me myself, being as though that I stand for love, truth, justice, freedom, peace, and equality. I think liquor stores is definitely detrimental to the black community, and I think that liquor has destroyed us and destroyed homes as well as its toxicity levels in your body and its poison. With that being said, though, I still don't think that immigrants should utilize that and be able to take that money from alcohol back to their countries to help build their countries up. There's a liquor store in every fucking corner in the black community, and that is done on purpose. You know what I'm saying? That is done on purpose. So at least if the liquor store is going to be in your community, at least own liquor stores. When I was coming up, you have black owned liquor stores. Most of the majority of liquor stores is owned by black people. You understand? And I guess when the 90s came in, all that changed or whatever though. But that's something we need to utilize. A liquor license. A lot of us got criminal records, so it's kind of hard to obtain a liquor license, but it still don't mean you got a good woman with you or you got family members. You always could get one of them to go in business with you, and you could put it under one of their names as long as they trustworthy and you feel as though they're gonna be true to business. But yeah, that's another one of our economical resources that can be utilized um, if you choose to deal with that. Because with alcohol, it comes a whole alcohol. Having a liquor store is like being a drug dealer. No, having a liquor store is being a drug dealer because alcohol is much addictive than just about any other drug. Um, but yeah, the liquor stores. Also, um, a lot of people in black neighborhoods, it's always a lot of murders and a lot of people dying, and due to whether it's health or it's due to murder or anything. But black people always need funeral homes. And I don't really know from my research. Most of the funeral homes are either owned by blacks, whites, or Chinese. So most of the funeral homes in my neighborhood, they're owned by black people. But I'm just putting that out there that this could be another one of your economical resources that you can utilize. All right, yeah, I'm back. So yeah, like I was discussing, so most of these different economical tools, as far as like the laundromat, as far as like I said, the fast food chain, the fried chicken, soul food, slash, other types of eatery or whatever, the fashion, music, grocery markets, convenience stores, real estate. All of these are major key things that you can be controlling your economics with, because if you control all of these, then you control the money that stays throughout your community. Also, the beauty supply stores. I never really figured out beauty because no one can sell you beauty. Either you're beautiful or you're not beautiful. No one can sell you beauty. You can dress up and you can put as much stuff on your face as you want. At the end of the day, the person you living with gotta see that. So you can't wake up with makeup. You can't wear eyelashes. So, but as far as beauty, if you're going to have any beauty supply stores in your neighborhood that majority is inhabited by African Americans, and this is what I'm saying. Like when I say African African American communities. African American communities is any community that's majority of that ethnicity. So if the majority if the majority population in the city is black, then it should be a black community because of common unity. You know what I'm saying? Commonality. But like I said, all these things are things we can utilize, and you don't have to really focus on these like entirely. You can do some of these things like on your side, on your days off or whatever. You can work this and get some of your family to run it, or try to run it yourself, and then maybe transition from working from somebody to owning one of these businesses. or whatever. And like I said, like I told someone, if you make $1,000 a week at your job and you can make $800 a week at your business, as well as meet new people and bring in new customers and take care of your employees as well as your overhead, then I don't see what the problem is. Yeah, it might be more of a headache, but at the end of the day, it's your own headache that you can control and you can create. You ain't got to worry about no one saying, well, you don't have to come in this day or whatever, because if you smart, you train your employees properly, they can run your facility for you, and you could just come at certain points of the time, make sure everything running good, check the profit, check all your paperwork, and you can keep it from there. So, but all of these are resources in which we are supposed to least control these resources. Okay, I mean, what I'm saying is, if you got 10 laundromats in black communities, 6 or 7 of them should be owned, or at least starting off, half of them should be owned by African Americans. The same thing with the food. All of the food should be owned by African Americans because, like I said, this is something, you got all these black men going to jail for economical resources, for them selling drugs and robbing people and committing fraud and all that because, at certain points of time in the century, there was not enough jobs for everyone. And some people just carried that on over. You know what I'm saying? That, like I said, in a lot of these single parent households, you got a lot of these kids that they being raised by mother. A mother cannot raise a man, even though a lot of instances they do, but they it's still some energy that's missing from that child. That child is really not experiencing the fact of having a man in the house and what the difference is of having a strong man, or at least a decent person, someone who will correct you and lead you and help you become the best productive human being or grown up as possible. So yeah, like I said, these all of these are resources, and all of these can be controlled. And like I said, and the same person who owned the fried chicken, he sent people to your laundromat, and people from the laundromat send people to the fried chicken spots. As far as the fashion, the music, the groceries, the real estate, these are all things we need to utilize. So black people, stop complaining about what you don't have and look around and see what you can make profitable, because everyone else is making profit in this. Okay, and like I said, these can be secondary things, and some of them could be a lot of these can be businesses that you can utilize to where if you grow big enough to where you don't even have to work no more. So all these moguls, these people with these $1 billion that's running all the money that you spend, all the money that black people spend throughout this country, and like I said, throughout the world, is over a trillion dollars. Imagine if that same $1 trillion went back into our pockets, as opposed that $1 trillion is going to other people, going to other countries and taking care and building up their economy as well. We just become consumers and we don't finance and we don't invest. All we do is spend, 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 spend. So, like I said, I gave you a list of different resources that we can definitely utilize, that we need to utilize, and we need to utilize these things as soon as possible. So, definitely, if you like it, it was informational. I mean, if it was informative to you, like, subscribe, comment. I'm out. I'm touching this one. Peace.